Weekdays on TBS, it's the invasion of the super geeks. Urkel and Screech. Lock your doors, hide your daughters,
Wow, mama!
and spend 2 full hours with 2 really weird guys. Urkel and Screech
I'm no dummy.
on Saved by the Bell and Family Matters. 5:05 Eastern weekdays on TBS.
Bayside High? Hey, it's just a typical school.
With typical teachers.
And very normal students.
We're all really close.
Just like your school, huh?
Sunday. Remember that one Christmas gift you just had to have?
I want an official Red Ryder Carbon Action 2-inch Airlines Ball Arrow.
Despite the odds, you forged ahead, trying so hard to be perfect. But, well, that didn't quite work out. So you appealed to the highest power
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
and spent a sleepless night waiting to see if your efforts paid off. A Christmas Story. Relive it all 10:35 Eastern Sunday on the Superstation.
Sunday on the Superstation.
Santa!
Fred and Barney take over for Santa.
Me? Filling for Santa Claus?
Fred can fill the suit,
Pretty good, huh?
but can he get the job done? Then on Saved by the Bell, Zach saves the day,
Santa will fix that.
and Screech becomes Scrooge.
Hey, look, cut!
It's a miracle in Bedrock. And Bah Humbug at Bayside High. It's the Superstation Christmas Kickoff. Sunday at 2:35 Eastern on the Superstation.
When I wake up in the morning and the alarm gets out of warning, I don't think I'll ever make it on time. By the time I grab my books and I give myself a look, I'm at the corner just in time to see the bus fly by. It's alright, cause I'm saved by the bell. If the teacher pops a test, I know I'm in a mess, and my dog ate all my homework last night. Riding low in my chair, she won't know that I'm there. If I can hand it in tomorrow, it'll be alright. It's alright, cause I'm saved by the bell. It's alright, cause I'm saved by the. It's alright, cause I'm saved by the. It's alright, cause I'm saved by the bell.
Sitcom, are ye faithful? A Christmas podcast special where again I discuss 25 Christmas sitcom episodes. Please come and listen every day until Christmas. I'm sure we'll feature Balky, Gilligan, and young Webster, Rose Nyland, Eric Foreman, and definitely Mork. We'll definitely talk about Mork.
Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome back to Sitcom, all ye faithful. And again, for the third time, I giggled when I started singing like a fool. I had fuel on my brain, singing like a fool, because once again, I'm not alone. Joining me this evening is a man who's been on Geek Mentality in the past. He's been on, I want to say, last year's sitcom, All Ye Faithful. He might have been on a Marty McFly. I have no memory. I think he was. But he's also a part of the family. Well, the two families. The unfortunately my actual family, but he's also part of the Fans Not Experts family, as he is probably the host of the most popular podcast on our airwaves, the Metallicast, which I think is still a podcast. I'm not sure. It's been a while, but he was just telling me, oh, I have kids. Things are important. Oh, yeah, by the way, we haven't even talked about what we're talking about yet, but that's okay. My cousin Brandon is here. Hi, Brandon.
Hello, how are you? I'm going to talk like this for the whole podcast.
Oh, good. You're going to use your real voice? Cool.
Yeah. It's lovely being here. It has been it's been a while since I've done this podcast thing. A few months.
Yeah.
And Metallicast is a thing. It's not an active thing this moment, but it is a thing. It will be an active thing again in the future, maybe, I hope.
Once your kids are in high
when
school.
my kids are 18 and Metallica is dead from old age.
Never. So Brandon, it's Christmas time, and I can't help but think of you at Christmas time because of the time that you were arrested. Well, I'm not going to talk about that, but every Christmas Eve from when I was when I was a baby, Brandon wasn't born. I'm much older and more mature than him. But since Brandon was a baby, we've had Christmas Eve together up until, somewhat of adulthood.
I was in college when it stopped.
Were you? Okay. I thought I was going to say you were married, but
I
guess not.
I might have been married.
We might have had
it
one.
All blends in.
No, we had one, I think, when my niece was a baby. I don't know if you were invited.
I think that was the last.
That was the last one. That was your parents' current house.
Yeah.
But people get older. They have kids.
We get wiser. We decide not to hang out with.
All I do is get older. But he's here today, and last year he was here to talk about his favorite. I think it's his favorite show, Saved by the Bell. And you're going to realize this guy, you're not going to trust his taste after you realize, well, you already know because you downloaded this episode, that he's here today to talk about one of his other favorite shows. Correct?
Well, you said my favorite show is Saved by the Bell. You
shit. I already screwed up.
My favorite show is, what is it?
Boy Meets World. We did that last year. The years go passing day by day.
It does blend in.
It does blend.
You know what? They're comparable shows, except for the fact that Saved by the Bell makes Boy Meets World look like Breaking Bad or The Wire.
I was gonna say, Boy Meets World is young, teen oriented, has some like silly melodrama, but it is a shit. It's still like an actual show. I don't know what the hell I just watched. But so here's the issue. I said, pick a Christmas show. And did you want to do Saved by the Bell? He said, yes. And then he says, guess what? It's your lucky day. I'm picking an episode that has 2 parts. So you have to watch it. You have to watch 2 of them. So we watched Home for Christmas Part 1 and 2 that originally aired December 7th, 1991. And December 14th, 1991. People had to wait a week to see what happened.
What utter hell.
I would imagine. Hell. Well, how old were you in 1991?
I was like in first grade, probably second grade, maybe.
So you might have already been watching this by then.
Yeah. I believe, I was aware of Saved by the Bell.
Mm-hmm.
I think I became a more active viewer, probably like when I was like in third grade or so. You know what it was? They would have my daily weekday routine. I'd come home. I would have myself a little snackadoo. And, we're talking maybe a bowl of ice cream, maybe some Doritos, maybe some Cheez-Its. And I would get my homework done because I was a very studious young boy. A genius, some would say. So I flew through my studies. Say that? Everybody. I flew through my studies like lickety split, and
he is a teacher, by the way, but he teaches music.
That doesn't count. All because at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock, I had to tune in for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then when that was done,
you didn't say that show. That's not a sitcom.
Wait till
right?
next
Doesn't
year.
count.
It's
This
a
is barely
sitcom
a
depending
sitcom.
on your point of view.
That's true. So is this.
And then you would flip on over to TBS, the Superstation, and they would have like a marathon of Saved by the Bell till like the Braves
Till
game
bedtime.
started.
Till the Braves game. Starting at 6:05 or 4:05. So this now it's funny I watched this on Peacock and it called it season 4 episode 24 and 25, but on IMDb it's called season 3 24 and 25, and I'm going to stick with season 3 because I'm sorry, Good Morning Miss Bliss is not the first season of Saved by the Bell. It's a different
Totally
show.
different show.
Totally different show.
Same characters, or some of the
them.
same
Some of
characters.
them.
But totally different show. You know what's funny about Saved by the Bell? I
Yeah, please
naturally when I was besides everything, it's just a genius show. When you are an owner of the DVD collection like myself,
of course,
you realize that the seasons are and the episode numbers are not really in chronological order.
Well, there's that weird summer
like,
season kind of, or summer episode.
So like when you look at like how they aired, because the box set, the DVD box set's like in order of like the air date. So you'd have like the beach episodes. Look at this amateur. The Malibu Sands episodes.
Was that with Leah Remini? Wasn't she this daughter?
Why do you even have to ask? Of course it was. The king of freaking Queens over here, okay? And actually, she was the queen of queens.
That's true. KJ was the king.
Yeah, always the king. KKJ.
Okay, I was like, wait. Oh, do I have to edit that out? Oh boy.
You don't have to edit anything out yet. You just wait. So, anyways, if I'm recalling correctly, there'd be like a Malibu Sands episode, like part 1, and then there'd be a random episode, and then the next week was like part 2. It's like makes no sense. My favorite is like when you get to the last season, Jessie, leaves the show because she wanted to take her clothes off and
that was
Showgirls.
During Showgirls, right? That's crazy.
God bless her. Anyways, they replaced her with Tori the tomboy, who nobody likes to acknowledge.
They did not ask her back for the reboot.
And but there are episodes I feel like aired out of order. So like a character would be missing and replaced, and then like 5 episodes later they're back without explanation. It's the beauty of family television in the 90s, where
plus Saturday morning, a Saturday morning sitcom, which is what this was.
Yeah, the first of its kind, ahead of its time.
Really was
Saturday morning live action show.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the first of its kind. I'm trying to think how many were there. Was like Malibu, wasn't there a Malibu something where they worked at the mall or in California?
Are you thinking of California Dreams that's lay right here in the sun?
I feel like you have that DVD
till
too.
The dreams are done.
Yes.
Do I have that DVD? No. Do I want the DVD? Yes. But the problem is
they don't make them.
It must have been out at some point, but it wasn't as readily available as Saved by the Bell seasons 1 through 5. Plus the college years, which yes, I do own the college years.
I remember watching that, thinking I'm going to watch this show, and it wasn't.
Yeah, you were probably a Professor Lasky fan because you suck, and we don't like Professor Lasky. Okay, let me just say we don't like Professor Lasky. Okay,
I suppose
he was going after Kelly Kapowski. We're like, whoa, Kelly Zach's girl, Professor Lasky. You're a creep. You're an old professor. Get out of here, right? Make room for Zach. Then Zach came back. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Brought her to Vegas. He put a ring on it. Spoiler alert.
On what? I don't want to edit it out, so don't answer. So there we have.
But we're getting way far ahead of ourselves.
This
episode's way before the college years.
This episode, I finished this watching this maybe about 20 minutes before we were talking, and I thought, oh my God, how can I have talk about 2 different shows this year, and both of them have a homeless person with a kid and luckily the family's there to save the day. It happened early on with Silver Spoons when the Strattons saved a homeless family living in a cave in their backyard. And did you know that? I don't know if that's a true story. There was a cave in the backyard where young Joey Lawrence and his parents lived, and the dad gave him a job in their toy factory. And here we are down in Bayside, where Zach Morris's mother, basically, and father, who we never see. Have we ever seen Zach's father?
Yeah.
Okay. And
but
Zach's,
I want to say it's probably like a Topanga Lawrence situation where the dad was always played by somebody different,
and his mom.
One of the few plot holes of Boy Meets World, let me tell you.
one of the few only
continuity issues.
Still bugs you to this year. You want you want George Lucas to come in and update a special edition.
God, I'm hoping Lucas
same actresses
swims in.
Now with Zach's mom, she's prominent in these episodes, and I don't remember her at all either.
Yeah, you know what? The what I love about teen television.
Oh, you could have just said teens. Creep.
I don't want to make you edit anything.
That's true. I'm not editing. No, yeah.
What I love about teen television is that parents don't really exist.
True.
The teens just do whatever the hell they want.
Plot, like continuity, plot, acting doesn't. None of it really matters that much.
Well, it's even most recently, the CW shows, which you love, or back in the day when it was the WB. Remember the Singing Frog?
Oh yeah, Michigan J Frog.
My wife watches the likes of Dawson's Creek. I've seen that show. I've never sat down and watched an episode, but I've seen the whole series about 10 times.
So you saw the dad die and bending over, eating ice cream or something. Isn't that a famous scene? The dad gets in a car accident while he's eating ice cream. I saw that on YouTube.
But they live their own lives, which are largely adult lives, without the need of parents most of the time, except when it's a convenient plot device.
Well, think about Smallville. They went to high school for a bunch of years. They went to college for a month, and then they worked at the Daily Planet. Kids grow up fast on TV. I'm looking I'm thinking, am I creep? How old are these actresses in this? Because I remember as a kid having crushes on them, but I don't know if they're in, if I'm should be watching it going, oh man, no, they're kids.
Well, are they? Sad.
I don't even know. They're probably in their 20s by then.
Is that I think they might have actually been pretty close to their ages.
Oh, you creep.
Because you know what is... So my daughter is an active viewer of Full House. So we watch a lot of Full House in this Full House. And she's a big fan of Uncle Jesse. Who isn't? You watch that show, and in the first season, they talk about how, Uncle Jesse's 25. And you're like, there's no way he's 25 years old filming this. You Google it. Yeah, he was 25. They're all playing. They're just Bob ages. Saget's 30, and, Joey Gladstone is, 26 or whatever he is. It's I think, people just age differently now. Where it's you ever see those old baseball players,
or
and they look like they're 70 years old,
right?
But they're 33.
Yeah. Well, I talked about that even on Golden Girls. Blanche was 52 when she started the show. She was a divorced retiree living in Florida, a widower, I should say, or a widow. Living in Florida, and she's 52, and I'm like, oh, that's me in 6 years. Oh, great, cool. Cool. I would love to live in a retirement community.
But what's interesting about Saved by the Bell is that they
Saved by the Bell.
They aged to college, and then just stopped aging. They all look the same.
That's true. Good genes. And it's what I like about Saved by the Bell also is they don't steer away from heavy subjects like wheelchair girlfriends for Zach and homeless girlfriends for Zach, and that's what.
And let's not forget the most famous episode of all, drug addiction. I'm so excited. I'm so scared.
But that was Jesse Spano. That was the episode. I think if I read it right, like one or two before this was that episode in at least in Peacock.
It was it was a very heavy season for this comedic tour de force,
Right.
we call Saved by the Bell.
It
Yeah.
showed range. Paul
did it ever.
Verhoeven was at home and he's like, yes, I want her to strip on my screen. He's the one. I don't know if I think that's who directed. I don't know if that's what he sounds like. I don't even know if he has an accent. But the IMDb description says Zach Slater, Screech Kelly. By the way, we're going to talk about this episode at some point. Zach Slater, Screech Kelly, and Jesse are working at the mall for the holidays, where they befriend a homeless man and his daughter. And the way Zach meets this girl bothers me. Everything. I texted you a while, like maybe an hour ago, and I go, "This is truly terrible television," and I'm so glad I'm watching it. And what's funny is I think it might have been only a few months ago, unless it was last year, where I was listening to another podcast, a Christmas podcast called the Advent Calendar Funhouse, Advent Calendar House. And they talked about this, and I was like, so I'm watching this going, oh yeah, I kind of know what's going on here. I know there's a homeless guy in the bathroom. And of course they're joking about him. And it's like, they've never seen a homeless guy. And Zach's way of saying, it's not my fault. When you're in my street, if you're poor, that just means you don't have cable. Like, what a dick.
So one thing you'll learn rewatching Saved by the Bell is how, one, not politically correct it is, which is
True.
a sign of the
sent
times.
me a gif of that yesterday.
Yeah. And there's more examples too, like when Zach gets in touch with his Native American ancestors and he needs himself running Zach.
Jesus Christ.
But anyways,
the early
that's neither
90s.
here nor there. But also it I forget what I was gonna say. I got too distracted by the non-PC thing.
So this episode starts with them all excited.
He's also an awful human being.
I've noticed that. He's kind of an awful. At the beginning of this, they're just so mean to each other.
Yeah.
Like, I heard, like, I can't do anything. Like, that's what I heard from girls you're dating, or things like just terrible things. They're all wisecracking to each other, and none of it is in good nature. Like, it's just like they're so mean to each other.
Yeah.
But they're all getting jobs at the mall. Mario Lopez or AC Slater is going to wrap gifts. He's like, everything I do everything good is what he said. I was like, creepy. Lisa is working at the hospital to help with kids. Jesse is helping Santa Claus take pictures. Kelly's working at a store, and Zach, I guess, is just too rich to have to work.
He's just there hanging out.
He doesn't have a job.
His parents' money.
I was like 2 weeks of Christmas and everyone's getting a job. I don't remember if I did anything over Christmas.
What I love is that, most Saved by the Bell episodes take place, of course, at Bayside High. Once in a while, you get a glimpse of like Zach's bedroom or something, or, but usually you're in Mr. Belding's office or the hallway.
No Mr. Belding in this episode.
No Mr. Belding, no school. The whole setting is the mall and the hospital, which just conveniently enough, they happen to have jobs at both these places for this one.
It worked
single story. Yeah.
It
worked out perfectly that way.
Yep. So they're at the mall, kind of Zach's walking around, just randomly seeing his friends, and then runs into this girl. She's like, I watched that scene maybe 3 times because she's like trying to speed up so she can run into him. I was like, and then she goes, hey, watch it. Like, I was like, oh my God, what is this acting? She was okay after that, I think, but I said, oh no, what am I watching? And Zach's like, oh, I'm so sorry that I ran into you, or I'm so sorry that I bumped into you, but I'm happy I ran into you. It was like right away he went from like creepy perv, I'm Zach Morris, goes for the handshake, and he becomes infatuated with her in a restraining order kind of way.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get too far ahead, but that's a behavior that gets it escalates as the episode goes on, because now he has this physical run-in with this girl, and then he becomes obsessed. And because he's not working, he has the full day to literally just stalk this girl.
Yeah. The only thing he has to do is apparently he's Bob Cratchit in the mall's performance of A Christmas Carol that Zach's mom is putting on. I'm like, I didn't realize Zach's mom worked at the mall, and they were like, this is like, oh, he wants to get this girl. Well, I haven't even talked about it yet. We find out this girl works with Kelly, and Zach, and she brought her lunch, but it's just an apple. And Zach is beside himself. Just an
That's
apple.
all you eat?
What is that?
That's all you eat?
And then she says, well, I'm on a diet. He goes, you don't need it. And he looks at her like, says, you don't need it. I was like, Jesus Christ, you creep. After that happens, Screech shows up with
that's after he like followed her to the cafeteria into her workforce.
That's right.
He's already read into her at like 3 different locations.
He wants to bring her for
on
lunch
purpose.
Yeah. He and then we see Screech has a gift, but it's out of for some reason he unwrapped it and filled it with water. It was a baby squeeze and squirt. The thing pisses all over him, so they have to go to the bathroom together to dry off. This guy comes in and just says, "You want me to? Hey, you have a little accident on your pants. Want me to help you dry your pants?" I would be like, "No, run!" Like this guy, he means well, but he's like, "Hey, I noticed a big wet stain on your pants."
Well, also his like delivery too. It's not like, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need me?" It's like, "Hey, are you
hey,
you want to me to show you how to dry your crotch?"
You made him a little messy. You want a little help? Come here. He goes, turn this down. I was like, it's already facing down. And turn it this way to dry. Like, wow, thanks for the tip. And unfortunately, I had to do that myself in high school. I think I had white pants on and I spilled chocolate pudding on me. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. People thought I made a front poop. I very quickly soaked my pants, cleaned it down, and then had to sit there and dry it. And it was, it's brought back a lot of memories. But then the guy starts shaving. Well, first he checks.
Well, this is one of my favorite parts.
First he checks payphones for coins. Then he starts just shaving in the middle of the mall, in the middle of the day, random shaving.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much money he has, but I always thought, well, if I ever get homeless, all I need is $10 a month to get a Planet Fitness so I can go take a shower. Because that's one thing I don't know about. Like, Zach should have been like, why do you stink? He should have said that to the girl. Like, there was no smell. I was obsessed.
That thought crossed my mind too. Like, her hygiene is perfect.
She's been wearing the same clothes for the whole time.
Yeah.
But I was just like, even his smell, I was just like, oh man, it wasn't even brought up. You thought Screech would say something. But he starts shaving and he's like, what? That guy's shaving. Does he live at the mall or something? And Zach says, I think he's homeless.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite part, because Zach's like, hey, Screech, look it, he's shaving. And then Screech looks and he goes, don't look.
He goes, don't stare. He goes, how can I stare?
You said just as loud as possible, like yelled like a foot away from this guy about how he's shaving, and look.
Yeah, that's sitcom talk where the people 5 feet away from you can't hear how loud you're actually being. But the guy was like, cool. It's like, hey, it's okay. It's cool. I'm just shaving. No big deal. And do you live at the mall? He's like, did he say I live in lots of places?
Yeah.
And he's like, Zach's like, I know what I'll do. I'll take $3 and stick it in the phone here. Hey, mister, I found some money. There's no money. Maybe you should check again. He's so proud of himself that he's like, I just saved homelessness.
Now that guy can buy another razor so he can shave again tomorrow.
Some shaving cream and a razor. So, and he's like, oh, are you okay? Maybe I need to eat a little more. I'm a little lightheaded. So that's a little setting things up for later. We find that AC Slater.
It's just a sign of great writing, man.
It is.
So many shows would have not have hinted that anything's to come.
Foreshadowing.
It would have just happened, and
I picture the writing room. They're like, "What is that called? What did we just do? Was that foreshadowing?" And they high fived, like, "Oh my god, we did it! 3 seasons, and we came up with something."
And then all those writers went on to The Wire. That's what they wrote after the show. So
I wouldn't doubt if some of them did. Nope. I'm going to tell you right now. This episode was written by Tom Tenowich and Sam Bobrick. And Tom went on, he wrote an episode of Mork and Mindy. Oh my God, he wrote many episodes of Mork and Mindy. Oh, what an interesting thing. I did Mork and Mindy yesterday. Last thing he worked on was something called City Guys. He hasn't worked in a while. It's okay. It's all right.
This was the
good.
twilight of his career.
Sam Bobrick unfortunately passed away in 2019. He was 87 when he passed away. How old was this mofo when he wrote Saved by the Bell? This guy was in his 60s, 50s already. He's like, I have an idea. Screech, wet your pants.
He's like, I once wrote an episode of Silver Spoons about a homeless
he
family
created
in a cave.
Saved by the Bell. This guy wrote for Get Smart, not the movie with Steve Carell, the original Get Smart in the 60s. He wrote for the Andy Griffith Show, and then he went on to go, I have an idea. Get a bunch of kids all different colors, stick them in a school. Hilarity ensues. We're going to give one of these kids a cell phone. What the hell is that?
Time out.
Time out. He was like, give me more. Give me more. This is great. This is great stuff. So these guys, old people writing for young people, sounds about right.
It's perfect.
So AC Slater his job is wrapping gifts in the mall. He said he's good at everything. He bragged in a very flirtatious way to Mrs. Morris. I thought there was something going on there.
Yeah, they're definitely hooking up. Yeah,
but he was
Zach's
so bad.
Dad's out of town.
That's true.
And Slater
AC Slater, can you come please fix my drain pipe? Oh, that's not a euphemism. It's what I call it. I'm not editing. So the AC Slater Slater. We just call him. They call him Slater. They don't call him AC.
Slater. You know
what AC stands
for?
I
call him. Yeah. Albert Clifford.
I would have believed you, except you paused.
That's a real thing.
Oh,
Google it.
Wait a minute. Okay,
Google it. Tell me if I'm right.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay.
Albert Clifford.
Slater. Oh no, that's a rap star. It's like there's a rapper. AC Slater, Saved by the Bell. We know it's Mario Lopez. Oh my God. It's Albert Clifford Slater. And then it says Albert Clifford Slater Nie Sanchez. I don't know what that means. That means his mom is Sanchez, I'm guessing. Albert Clifford. I would go by AC too. This he couldn't be an elf without showing off those muscular arms, but I'm getting ahead of myself. He's a gift wrapper, and he's awful at it, to the point where a woman assaults him, chokes him. That was like, I wanted her name to be Karen, and the whole thing that we talk about for the Karen idea, everything's came from. Well, you remember that episode of Saved by the Bell?
Comes from that.
That comes from that. She chokes him because he wraps.
It's all because the writer of Andy Griffith Show hated a Karen.
What? My ex-wife was a Karen. So the old woman standing next to him is useless. She's watching her young coworker getting choked. Does nothing about it. In fact, Zach grabs Slater's wallet and pays the woman off $40 for these champagne glasses. He's like, I'm getting paid $4 an hour and paying $40 an hour. So I don't even remember. I'm all over the place with this, but
he's rapping, and the homeless fellow.
Is that when he shows up? Oh, he offers to help. That's right.
So, yeah.
Well, that's when Lisa Turtle's there. She's getting a gift. He helps wrap. Slater has a tape on his nose. He goes, I need the tape, but I don't even think he uses the tape. The homeless guy apparently has a knack for rapping. I thought, okay, that's going to be his job. Nope, he doesn't at least help out. Nothing. No. Instead, he's like, can I have some of those scraps? I want to he wants to roll a doobie. Slater's like, here, he gives him all this wrapping paper. And a few minutes later, the guy collapses. I'm sure I'm missing stuff. I know.
Which is a shame, because he was going to eat that whole roll of wrapping paper.
He was going to feed it to his child.
You're hitting if you're missing anything,
Yeah, I'm
trust
hitting
me,
the important stuff.
we're hitting all the major.
The play
ones.
is in the second episode, right? That's once they know.
Yeah.
So they're he goes to visit Kelly at the store at Moody's and discovers that's where this girl lives.
Mr. Moody is in a mood.
Now is Mr. Moody ever seen again?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
Now.
He was a dick. He did not trust her for being homeless later, but
they steal.
He's just mean.
Yeah.
Those people. So he's like, oh, we met a homeless person. I couldn't believe it. And he goes, I gave him some money. I hope he uses it right. It's like, what do you mean? Well, I hope he uses it for food, but you never know. He could be a wino or worse. And she's like, I just lost my appetite.
Yeah, she goes, I don't want to eat with you anymore, and I have this yummy apple. So let me go.
She's going to take the apple and go.
Apple.
It's like, what I do? I was just talking about some wino.
But then what does Zach do? He stalks her.
He does not leave her alone. At one point, so that we don't learn about this. Oh no, he does finally have lunch with her, or she sits down. He goes to apologize, and she starts eating all his chips.
Yeah,
eating all his chips, and then we find out he eats his chips. He eats.
Well, you know what they say about chips?
You can't. Yeah, you bet you can't just eat 50. And then we find out that she ate some of his burger, and she ate a bunch of stuff, and he's probably like, oh my goodness, this bitch is hungry. I'm sorry, I'm not editing that out. No, it's something he would say.
But you know, homeless people are so hungry that they can eat every food in the world, unlimited amount.
Limited. And then when they go to the bathroom, they have all that wrapping paper to wipe themselves with.
Because see, you and I don't know this because we're privileged and we eat on a regular basis. But you know, when you don't eat, your stomach expands significantly, and it creates all this room where you can just feel it's like a whole chicken in my gut.
Store for winter.
Yeah. It's like you might have a glass of eggnog this time of year. They're drinking it by the gallons. And
where are they getting all this? Zach Morris?
Zach Morris.
Obviously.
Yeah. I mean, the guy had $3 to leave in a phone for a homeless dude who he freaked out.
That's true.
So
the big thing is they're all bought gifts to go to the hospital to give to the sick kids that Lisa Turtle, she's working at she's volunteering. She's not even working. She's volunteering.
Yeah.
So they all show up. Screech is a reindeer. Zach and Kelly are Mr. and Mrs. Claus, I want to say.
Naturally.
And I think Jesse's also kind of a Mrs. Claus.
Jessie is an elf. And, you know, you see her earlier dressed in that sexy Santa suit from the mall. It's like, you know, Showgirls Christmas.
Yeah,
right?
I noticed her until later.
She transforms into an elf. So she had to do a Christmas costume change.
I was so into C early on. I don't think I really even paid attention to Jessie until like her dad's wedding and they were all in a jacuzzi. Am I right? They all right? I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, she was a real beat to the step.
You know, I was like, yeah, I'm sure she was. She was like, I'm gonna go make pictures. So they're at the they're back at the mall first. The homeless, they're like, what's going on over there? 3 feet away from them. They're like, what's this commotion? And oh my God, that's the homeless guy. He fainted. Slater goes up to him. He's like, hey, are you okay? And he shakes him. Are you okay, mister? And luckily he's a lifeguard, so he knows all the he knows what to do. And I was like, is any of this correct? Tip his head back, do this. But then they call 911, and of course Screech is like, what's the number for 911? Classic. A mall security guard.
Classic Dustin Diamond.
Mall security guard shows up, and instead of doing anything, he just hands the mouth guard to the guy who's wrapping gifts, and immediately the guy starts. AC Slater starts breathing life. Alfred Clifford starts breathing life into this man.
Yeah.
We don't see what happens. It goes right to the hospital scene where they're all dressed up, and then they ask the nurse who I looked up in the credits because she looked familiar. No idea. She's not even listed.
Well, Zach just goes, hey, let's go see that homeless guy.
That's what that's what he said. He asked, where's that homeless guy? The guy who collapsed. They go to see him, and what? They open the door,
Dun dun dun.
and there's Laura.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing here? I'm visiting. He's my father. I wanted to be like, what do you mean he's your father? He's homeless. How could he be your father? That would mean you're. Oh, and then they leave, and there's no two-parter. When I wake up in the morning and
And then the next episode is just about saving the Max.
So that's the end of the episode, and I thought, oh no, I have to watch another one.
You're
Immediately go
welcome.
right to the next one, and it picks up right where they left off, where he's like, why didn't you tell me?
Well,
I'm
of
embarrassed.
course it does, because it's
Continuity.
excellent writing.
Excellent
And if
writing.
there's one thing Saved by the Bell's known for, as I discussed earlier, it's continuity and logic. You know, when you watch, name a great TV show, Mike. Name a truly great, critically acclaimed TV show.
I will say I'm gonna say a truly great, critically acclaimed The Sopranos.
Well, the continuity of The Sopranos is shit next to Saved by the Bell.
They never picked up right where they left off when the homeless guy fainted.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never saw Tony Soprano wet himself in the bathroom. Nope.
Because
nope,
of
nope.
a baby doll squirting water.
You never saw Silvio wrapping gifts. Silvio, am I right? I forget. It's been a long time. Polly Walnuts. I'm just listing names I remember. So this episode, they like, what's wrong with your dad? Well, nothing. He goes, I guess I just have to eat more. So
he goes, the doctor said I got to work on my diet.
Yeah.
Oh, what's your diet? Eating food.
Yeah. So
and they all went, you're poor. And then they rolled the credits.
You're starving to death.
That was the big joke at the end of the episode.
So they're like, she said, doctor said if he can leave, and they're going to do another test in an hour, and then he can leave. I'm like, what hospital gets you out of there that quick? He's like, well, if you're going to leave.
You know what, though? That could be realistic, because there's no way they have insurance. So the
That's
hospital's
true.
probably like, let's get these
you're alive.
non-paying assholes out of here.
Here's a juice box. Get out of here.
Yeah.
So they, Zach's like, listen, you're coming to my house for Christmas. My dad's out of town. And I saw the guy perk up and go, oh, is he? He's out of town, is he? How's your mom? I think I saw your mom when I was wandering around the mall all day. He's like,
and then that actually was the first scene in Dustin Diamond's sex tape.
Oh my goodness, that's what we're doing next. Diamonds Are Forever, is that what it's called? So
is that what it's called?
I have no idea. No, I think it's called like Screech's sex tape, A Night in Screech, or something stupid like that. Rest in peace. So we then go back to the house, right? We're back at the house where they're there originally, and they have dinner. They have some dessert.
And this again, right? This is scientific. This is a scientifically accurate scene. They did in-depth research about the appetites of homeless people, and they proved during the script writing that, again, your stomach expands. Laura ate like 3 lamb chops and
It's
like
true.
a bunch of other stuff.
And they kept eating cookies.
Yeah, cookies.
She's hibernating.
Which, by the way, is what they gave the dad in the hospital was cookies. And he's like, oh, this is just what the doctor ordered.
That's
I'm
right.
like, I think the doctor ordered like, a
An
steak
IV.
and like green beans, or like maybe just like a chicken thigh or something.
Or maybe go to
or
a soup
salad.
kitchen. Yeah.
Maybe not like all right, good news, you're not hungry, but you're now diabetic, and you still don't have insurance.
Yeah. So good luck.
Yeah.
Eat less now.
Yeah.
So they that's when they talk to the mom about how hey, I lost my job. I think he said the computer factory. It sounded like, something like that. The computer factory. So we came out here to California. Once we missed rent for a month, and that was it. I was like, wow, people nowadays, I feel like you miss rent for a month. Like, come and get it if you want.
Yeah. I mean, the eviction process
Yeah.
takes about like 10 years.
You have to prove this and prove that. Yeah. So, but not on TV. Boom, bing, bang, boom. Like, I don't know, just write it.
But
All
that's how
right.
good. That's how good they were.
They created their own
As renters, they said, "You know what? We missed a month. We're out.
We're
We're out.
Well, we'll see ourselves out. They came out to California 6 months ago, but he just can't get a job. And I'm thinking, well, there's no good jobs in technology in California. Maybe there wasn't in 1991 as much as there is today.
But also, too, you spend all day at the mall who are
That's
desperate for seasonal help.
That's true. You could have. You showed that you can wrap gifts.
This is where the episode takes a turn and we attack the homeless.
Just
what is go and fill job applications.
Yeah. Oh, you can stand there and hold the sign. Well, then you can stand there and make me fries. Like I think when I was younger, I used to be like, what are they? Now I'm like, you know what? You don't know what the hell's going on in anyone's life. But we do know what's going on in this guy's life. He just wants a job, but he just has no address to put on his application, and they just hire the next guy. Shows up in a ratty old suit. And
well, as Laura said, they move around a lot.
They do move around a lot. Yep. Yeah. And I think that's when they started talking about the play.
She's they move from the food court to the clothing store.
They go to
the gift wrapping store.
I'm going to test this mattress out for a good 9 hours. Thank you. So that's when they mentioned the mall play, and Laura doesn't think she can get it off because she just started working there today. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I might be on Mr. Moody's side for this one. And I don't care if I get it right anymore. We see them at the store, and this is where Moody is a real dick. He says, you're working. You're not going to have it off during the big play, the huge mall play. You can't have it off. Then she's like, I really want to buy this jacket for my dad. I thought, here we go. Yeah. Sitcom misunderstanding. Bring it up. And thank God that jacket's the right size. I'll bring it up later, but I wanted him to put it on and it'd be too small. Oh, well, you know what? That's fine. I can use
Chris
it as
Farley and Tommy Boy.
I'll just use it as a blanket. So
it's a shawl.
Right. She asked, can I get an advance on my salary? Like, salary? You work in a mall for $4 an hour, probably, or $5 an hour for a few hours, so that she can buy. He's like, I wanted to be like, you haven't earned that jacket yet.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, if you could earn enough to get a jacket, maybe buy your dad, I don't know, a potato or something. Like, I just thought,
maybe ask for an advance to buy a bag of groceries.
And how did she get a job without writing an address down? Moody hired her. Why didn't he? Hey, can we also hire my dad? He's really smart. He works in computers, or he builds computers. Either way, he's really smart. But he just wanders.
Wait, the computer factory?
Yes.
He's hired.
Wait, I'm not going to. That's Shaving Man. I'm not hiring him. All he does is go around to pay phones and helping boys with wet pants. So he's like, I can't. She's not able to work the play. She's not able to get the jacket. Then Zach shows up as Tiny Tim, and he's like, I'll work my business. Mr. Moody, step into my office. I can triple your business, which I just thought he was going to write a check or, use his dad's credit card and buy a bunch of stuff. We don't know exactly what he does, but he's like, you're all set. You can be in the play. So she's all excited. She runs off. Then Kelly's like, tells the other girl, because I thought, who the hell's working in the store? But there is a third girl. She tells the third girl. The third girl should have been crying because she wanted to be in the play. I've been working here for 4 years.
And Laura just swoops in and
swoops in out of nowhere. So, and who was going to play the part before Laura? Like, I want to see her and another person on the sidelines. Like, that was my part.
She's at least I'm not homeless, bitch.
So Kelly tells the girl, hey, I'm going to, can you keep this behind the counter? I'm going to buy it as a gift. And she's like, sure. And I thought, here we go. Mm-hmm. Oh, so then we get the play itself. Zach rewrote it to drop in ads for Moody's department store. We get some truly terrible acting, except for Screech. Screech brings it as Scrooge. I thought he was the best part. Lisa's British accent was okay. Jesse's was just all over the effing place.
Jesse gets a pass. You know why? I've seen her boobies.
So this, you know what? You'd think it stopped there, but you've seen all of it. Everyone has. So she, I don't know who they are. They're like the kids, I guess, and Zach's mom plays Mrs. Cratchit, so they're married in the episode. Then there was a real long kiss scene between Mr. and Bob Cratchit. So he's Bob Cratchit. Slater is Tiny Tim, which I really thought took some was interesting because I never thought Slater would show invulnerability. He'd probably I thought he would come out like, I'm Tiny Tim, but I'm with muscles and I don't need no stupid crutch. I ain't no cripple.
Right.
Because and I'm sure they'd say it just like that on this show. But we see I don't know who the hell the ghost of Christmas. We don't actually see the ghost of Christmas past. We see the ghost of Christmas present. Maybe we see the ghost of Christmas past. I don't remember. We see the ghost of Christmas present, who is played by Laura, and then the ghost of Christmas yet to come, which is played by Lisa. And they had a quick little. It was actually kind of funny when they clicked a button, like they pulled off Scrooge Screech, his nightgown or dressing, bed gown, and all of a sudden he was in a suit, a perfect suit. And everything was brought to you by Moody's, and you could see Moody was eating this up. He was like, "This is amazing. This is great. We did it. We're gonna triple sales. All these stupid rubes are gonna come to my store afterwards."
And all it took was a single high school boy.
Yep. All it took was that boy with the wet pants. So he goes back to the store all happy. And first Kelly goes back, or Laura goes back. For some reason they went back in staggered layers, but that's how TV works. She's like, what happened to that jacket? Oh, it's sold. Somebody sold it. Now, didn't Kelly tell her exactly?
Yeah.
Or maybe she didn't want, okay, she knew it was a surprise. So she was covering. So she didn't want to give it away. Okay. But wasn't she there when Moody came in and goes, you stole it. You stole it. And he thinks she stole it.
As those people do.
And you're right. And he goes, and I don't even know if he fires her, but she runs off. I didn't. I swear, I didn't. Kelly comes in. She's like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm buying it. I'm coming to pay for it right now. Oh, no, I've made a bad choice. So you could see Moody was like, because he was calling the cops. He's like, this is Moody, Mr. And I'm in a bad Moody. And then he's like, oh, never mind. Forget it. He realized he blew it.
That's how much pull, though, Mr. Moody has. One phone call.
Ruin her life.
The whole police department would be down there.
Yep. So
SWAT, riot.
We got here, Moody's crew. There's a guy with a big chomping on a cigar. We got to find this girl. We got to bring her down.
When you're tripling Christmas sales like the way Zach did for him, you can have a few popos on the payroll.
Free advertising in the mall that you're at. Yeah. They're already there. Your sign does just as much good as Screech.
It is the only male clothing store in the mall, but
no, there's like 4 others. And they're like, damn it, I should have got in here. So Laura runs off. We don't know where she is. Slater's like, I saw her running in the parking lot.
Here's my one complaint, right?
There's only one.
You
only have one.
One complaint. The perfect joke would be, where did she go? Oh, she went home.
I swear to God, I thought, did anyone check her home? Like, that could be anywhere. That is awesome. But they're like, because Slater's like, it was weird because I saw her running through the parking lot, but she wasn't there, so she could be anywhere. They need to comb the city together. And Kelly, I don't know if it was Kelly, him, and his mom, but the first place they check is the Christmas tree farm, and they're like, we need to find her and find her fast. Then there's this car that won't start.
Why would that be the first place?
The first place they check. There's looked like a little Chevette that my friend used to drive, and it couldn't start. Well, first they're like, hey buddy, you gotta move that car. We need it for paying customers. And the car's not starting. So you see a guy get out, and it's Laura's dad, Frank. And I have IMDb in front of me. I don't remember his name is Frank. He gets out and they're like, oh, Mr. Frank. I don't know. They don't have their last names on IMDb.
Mr. Frank.
Mr. Homeless Man, Mr. Homeless.
Laura Frank and Frank.
Frank. It's like the Marios. So they're like, where's Laura? She gets out of the car. I'm here. Where are you staying? This is where we're staying. Not on my watch. Mrs. Morris invites them all home. You're not spending Christmas Eve in this piece of shit car. This is my favorite car. This is the car my wife bought me before she passed. No, but she's like, you're not staying in this car. Brings them back home. They end up having Christmas together. And then Kelly shows
up drinking all the wine because it turns out he was a wino.
and then he pays off this prostitute Laura to be his daughter. We did it again. We grifted those sons of bitches. So
and the whole Morris family was dead.
Kelly
this
Kelly
is now turned into the darkest episode.
Kelly, it writes itself. Kelly shows up and she says, Mr. What happened with the jacket? I didn't end up buying it because Mr. Moody did. He's like, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. This is for you. Gives it to the dad. The dad puts it on. Thank God it fits. He's like, Merry Christmas. He leaves, but he could still see. He was like, humbug.
He goes, I'll see you Thursday for the after Christmas sale.
That's right. Everyone be there at Moody's. Then the weirdest thing happens because Mrs. Morris says, listen, I talked to my husband and he says
it's cool if we fuck.
I'm going to pass out. And I'm not editing any of this.
It was right there. I had to.
And everyone else is awkwardly staring. And he's like, huh? And she's like, come on, grabs his hand. And they just the two of them walk upstairs together. And everyone's like, what's going on? And then you just hear, you hear the mattress. And like, what is happening? And it's a 3-part episode. The whole third part is just and then he comes downstairs smoking a cigarette, wearing one of Zach's dad's shirts.
Call me daddy now, son.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. He puts his feet up. Okay. But what actually happens is even weirder than that is I talked to Zach's dad and you can stay here until you get a job. He's like, what?
He's like, these people are crazy.
That could take months. It's like, it's okay. Zach, we'll overstay our welcome. He's like, that's okay. Zach overstayed his welcome a long time ago. He's like, what?
And meanwhile, Zach's just like, I can finally pound this homeless girl.
Yeah, she could stay in my room. And then they're like, we wish you could get you something. He's like, well, baby, I feel like there is something we could get. Now, in another TV show, he'd walk over to the bag, pull out a gun, and goes, empty your wallets. But instead, he sits at the piano, and the two of them sing some sort of song I don't even remember. And I'm like, I'm not even sure if this is good. It might be good. I can't tell if it's good, but they sing it. And that, I believe, is the end of the episode, right?
Well, it's not a Christmas episode if it doesn't end in some kind of song.
That's true. Now, here's the thing. The next episode, these people are never heard from again, never seen again.
No,
they don't show up ever again. So you have to wonder if in the next week they he got a job and they moved out of town, or they were shown as grifters and got arrested. Either way, Zach never brings her up again. He was obsessed with her on Christmas. And then by the next episode, they are never, ever heard from again.
See, I feel like, that's one thing that Boy Meets World always got right. Was like when there was like a continuity issue, they would address it as a joke later on in the series, Like with the Minkus. Minkus disappears after season 1. And then when they're graduating high school, he shows up. And they're like, where have you been? He's like, I've been on the other side of the hallway that they never show.
See, that they were clever, though. They were clever and they were better actors, too.
But Saved by the Bell, the writing didn't quite bring them there.
Right, that didn't quite bring them there. They were just like, these are all good-looking kids, except for that goofy shit. But these are all good-looking kids. Whatever we say, they'll just eat it up.
Plus
And that's pretty much what happened.
Plus, can we backtrack a little bit and just talk about
Start
how
over?
that let's
I haven't been
just
recording
delete the
it.
whole thing. The that their friend group would never exist in a million years. They took one of every stereotypical type of high school student and put them together in one group. So you have like the prep, the preppy kid, the jock, the nerd, the fashion girl, the smart like none of those people exist together.
Right. It's like
they'd all have their own cliques. Like
Right.
Zach would be with all the preppy kids.
Like they
Slater
should
would be
have
with all the jocks.
right.
Greach, like there were cliques. All those cliques existed outside of their friend group, but they all like transcended those cliques to find each other.
Right. It would
like,
make sense
Screech
if they
never
were
hung out with the nerds.
Yeah.
He always hung out with the coolest kids in the
Like they were
schools.
already
Like,
together. That's true. He should be cool. He's the king of the the weirdos. But and he even says, "Who are you?" He goes, "I'm his geeky sidekick."
Yeah. I mean, he did date Tori Spelling. I will.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. But it would have been made more sense if they were all different cliques and they all sat at a new school, and then all of a sudden we see them kind of come together and they realize, something like that.
Right.
Something that would actually be well written.
But that requires
logic
and foresight into where the season's going.
And this is saved by the bell. And we have to remember, this is also Saturday morning television.
Yeah, yeah.
This isn't prime time. This isn't Saved by the Bell, the reboot. You watched the reboot, right?
Yeah, yeah. I never watched the second season, and because of that, they canceled it.
Because you didn't watch it.
Yeah,
they canceled.
But I watched the first season, and I did enjoy it. I
It was like that.
It was better than I anticipated because they poked fun at themselves. It was like. Yes. It was like an actual reboot in the same vein as the original series, but it was mixed with like elements of like the Brady Bunch movies where they like made fun of the original show,
Yeah. Well, they all kind of went on to things we watched. Like for me, Mark Paul Gosselaar, I've watched him in a ton of other things. NYPD Blue. I watched him on Franklin and Bash. People don't talk about the show. I love that show.
I feel like there was years where he didn't work, and then all of a sudden they were like,
he's everywhere.
You can work again, and he's like literally is on everything.
And he's a good actor, and he was in some like Fox show that had like gifted alien people with powers. I watched that.
And let us not forget Dead Man on Campus.
I do remember that. I don't think I've ever seen it. Was that his Franklin and Bash co-star? I don't remember. But
he was in Mixed Dish, right? Was that the show?
Oh, that's right. He was on
Blackish spinoff.
Yep. Mario Lopez, of course, is on one of those extras.
He's literally everywhere. He's like the I was gonna say the B-level Ryan Seacrest, but Ryan Seacrest might be the B-level Mario Lopez.
Oh, that's true. Mario Lopez is the guy who says, "Oh, you don't think going on Dancing with the Stars was a good idea?" Boom! It relaunched his career. Tiffany Amber Thiessen, of course, you and I loved her on
she is
White Collar.
She is wife material. Let me tell you, she was on White Collar. There was a
White Collar. Recently.
There was a great Fox show that aired for like a season. When I say great, I mean it was horrible, and I don't remember anything about it. But
she was on it.
But there was an episode where she made out with Jamie Presley, and that scene's always engraved in my brain.
You own that scene. You own that on Blu-ray.
yeah, just that one scene. Beverly Hills 90210.
Yes.
That's like kind of what made her sustain. She left Saved by the Bell,
went right from
and
that,
then she was
right
like the
that.
evil.
She was mean on that. I'm like, no,
like
she's so nice. Yeah, she's so nice. Don't say that.
She had she also had a Food Network show too, like a couple years back. Yeah.
Elizabeth Berkley, of course, showed her bits in Showgirls. And the problem, first of all, it was a lot of nudity, but it was also in a terrible, terrible movie that gets made fun of. Yeah. And she put all her eggs literally in that basket
Hollywood went through a phase where they're like, we need 2 stripper movies,
at the same
Striptease and
time.
Showgirls. Yeah. And I gotta say, both of them are probably 2 of the greatest movies ever made. But Striptease is. I said before, Saved by the Bell makes Boy Meets World look like Breaking Bad.
Showgirls
makes Striptease look like Citizen Kane or something.
So Striptease had its moments because it tried to be a comedy.
Yeah.
It was a comedy, with like Burt Reynolds had some funny moments in it.
Well, it was like an actual movie, whereas like
Showgirls was just like
it was meant to be an actual movie, but it was actually just like a B grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh no, she's not good at acting. Uh-oh. Yeah, take off more." When like there's one scene where she shows her like the knife at the beginning, like she flicks her knife up. Not that I've ever seen this movie, but she flicks her knife up, and I'm like, "Oh no. This is not going to end well." Dustin Diamond, rest in peace. Did he pass away just within the last couple of years? It might have been last year. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was in the last year or two. Yeah.
But he went on to be Screech in Saved by the Bell, the new class, and Saved by the Bell, the college years. He became Belding's right-hand man, I believe. Did you watch the new class?
Of course
you did. Of course you did.
He was he came back, and I know he was a teacher at Bayside.
Oh, he was a teacher. I thought he was just like, I don't know, assistant to the principal.
He might have been both. But
And then we have Lisa Turtle, Lars Voorhees, not to be confused with Jason Voorhees.
Who, by the way, was a beautiful woman. I don't know if you've seen her plastic surgery, but there's some scary pictures out there.
There were some real scary, like weird pictures where
she
her
looks
skin,
better. She looks
her skin was all
now.
like a different shade. Like something was wrong with, like it just looked way off.
She's done other stuff since then. She looks better now. Like she looks more normal now.
Like the IMDb
there was
photo
a scary,
of her now looks. I don't know when this was.
It was a scary phase there.
But she's standing in front. Was she in the college? Was she in the new reboot?
I think she made a cameo. A cameo.
Did she look normal?
Yeah, she looked more normal.
Oh, she was in 3 episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was. Other than that, she hadn't done stuff in about 10 years. She played Lisa Turtle in Robot Chicken. Not
she's
much.
been the least prolific, I think.
I think so.
Because
I think I had a crush on her too. Wow.
Screech was always working because he was such a sleazebag.
Well, Screech was like,
and he did all those reality shows.
He did all those reality shows, celebrity boxing.
Yeah. He was on I think he was on one of the rehab shows too.
Probably
like
was,
Celebrity Rehab or like Sex Rehab or something like that.
Yeah. Or Fit Club
those Dr.
or whatever.
Drew ones, yeah.
And because I remember him being, I think, on Howard Stern once. He kind of is a dick. Or he was a dick. He was a real
he was the one that nobody wanted anything to do with because he badmouthed everybody.
He badmouthed everybody, talked behind everybody's back. I don't know if he wrote a book or he contributed to things. And then he puts out a sex tape. He was just like the guy who was hungry for fame because there was not much else going on.
He needed 15 more minutes.
Exactly.
And he was like desperate to like get it.
But his death, he got cancer, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was, I want to say it was cancer, and he kept it secret.
Why would you want to say that?
It happens like really fast.
Yeah. No. Okay, and that's it, everybody. Thanks. See you tomorrow. We'll end on that. But I think I'm almost positive I will never ever talk about Saved by the Bell again on this podcast. But you never say never.
Listen, I have more episodes we can do.
Are there other Christmas episodes? I mean,
I didn't say that. I just said we can go back and talk about.
We got to do it with my dad. We call it Saved by the Mel, and we just talk about it. And we watch every episode with him. That's it. I'm done. I'm not editing this at all. We did fine. I shouldn't have said that.
I gotta see.
I'm
gonna go check to see if they did a Christmas episode of the college years, because that would be really something to behold.
Oh my God. Like. Well, I guess I'm going to give you, if I give you your choice again, this is what I'm going to end up with. Is there a third show you like? I can only think of those two.
There's multiple Christmas episodes of Boy Meets World.
I will pray to go back to that, to what we were here.
I can see if there's a Christmas episode of California Dreams.
even if it's not as good as last year, where Corey was so pissed
California
that
Dreams.
Topanga wanted to change all of their traditions, and they were like, "What? She's just sleeping over." Anyway, that is it. Brandon, thank you so much for joining me on this.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to catch up. This is why doing a podcast with you when we did the wrestling podcast was so much fun, because we kind of talk about wrestling and then we just go off on different tangents.
Yeah.
Just timing wise, you did not want to do wrestling anymore, and I barely have done it. I don't even talk about. I don't even think I think I mentioned you in the show now. And
we should do something like this more often.
We should absolutely. I would, and are there plans for Metallicast down the line?
Yeah, I just gotta like wrap my head around it and figure out logistically what we can do. And
I know
it looks like we're moving in a handful of months, so we'll see if the new location.
Do you have a house that you're?
No, but we don't have a choice because our landlord's just selling. So
I see.
So we're going to be someplace new come May, whether we're renting or own. Yeah.
Maybe you could stay at Zach's house. We did it, everybody. We came full circle. If I see you at the mall shaving, we know
how things are done.
And your wife is eating an apple. Well, the kids are eating apples.
You know what we need to do? We need to end this the way every good Christmas episode ends. Oh, come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come.
Ladies and gentlemen, keep going. You can find Brandon at Metallicast Pod on Twitter and at fansnotexperts.com/Metallicast. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Geek Mentality. The website is fansnotexperts.com. The Facebook page is Fans Not Experts. I'll be back tomorrow with another guest. But until then, my friends, thank you so much, Brandon. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a great Thursday. See you tomorrow. And here is my theme song.
This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe. 'Cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts. There's not going to be one bit of editing.